Today on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, the team at MCU works to make the dreams of 25-foot Hydra-Sports owner Rick Weinstein become reality.
People with $1 million 50-foot center console boats don't get this attention to detail.
FS Boating editor Dave East meets up with Michael and Angelo Truglio to discuss the build of their custom Silver King.
From what you started out with to what you have right now, I don't know anything else that you could have added to it that would help it any better than what it is.
And the paint crew runs into some unexpected problems with Brian's Sea Hunt Quick Flip.
I've been doing this a long time, and I've never quite seen paint run off the side of the boat like Niagara Falls.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat.
All right, so we've got this 25 Sea Hunt that I bought from a customer. That was an insurance repair where he impacted a piling, smashed the side of the boat pretty good. I had Roberto and the guys do all the glass work. Mike's faired it all out. It's gotten ready. Jim's getting ready to shoot it to paint. I picked this real nice ice blue color because my ideas with this project is to get the thing fixed up, get it cleaned up, get it looking really good like a new boat, and sell it and make some money.
Well, we just got the 24 Sea Hunt back from the fiberglass shop. Mike was able to get the bodywork wrapped up and got it 545 primer. Looks really great. You're never gonna know anything happened to it. From that point right there, we'll start prepping the boat out and get it sanded, blocked, taped, and wiped down, and into the paint booth to start getting it ready to spray. Brian went with an ice blue paint job to modernize the look of the boat. It's gonna look really good against the water. This is a pretty basic paint job. It's pretty straightforward. You spray the boat and you walk away. We're having some issues with our compressor right now. So I was working with the pressure in the pot. It's very important to have the pressure in the pot steady. I think that will be okay. So we're gonna spray it and see what happens. So we got the pressure pot filled, ready to go. We started spraying the side of the boat. We got 3/4 of the way through the side of the boat, and I paused at the front of the boat to make sure everything was looking good, and I started noticing that the paint started sagging and running, which was what we're hoping wouldn't happen. And I've been doing this a long time, and I've never quite seen paint run off the side of the boat like Niagara Falls. And I was very let down and very disappointed at what happened, but things happen, and you just gotta keep rolling with it. When I noticed the situation that we had, I stepped back and I looked at the boat and decided that we could do one of two things. Either we keep spraying the boat and then sand and buff it. Me personally, I don't like sanding and buffing. It takes a lot of time, you're taking material off, which is not as good of a job. What we opted to do at that point was to just wipe all the paint off the boat and then start all over, fresh. It's a way better job. It won't cause any problems as far as, imperfections or anything if you get everything wiped off cleanly, like it never happened. We were able to get it cleaned up, back to square one, and we were able to make some adjustments and get the pressure pot regulated out because we were having problems with the pressure, fluctuating, which was causing part of our problem. We had some minor adjustments that we needed to make in the gun as far as the needle adjustment and fan. We were able to make those corrections, and we were able to start back over again, and everything came out perfect, just like it should have the first time. But again, things happen, but we were able to make those corrections, and it came out beautiful.
All right, so we're moving in the upholstery shop where I'm gonna have Vic get started on the Sea Hunt. I've picked that two-tone upholstery with Vic where we're doing a diamond intucted gray and white. I think it's gonna go really good with the ice blue. We're gonna have the Sea Hunt logo put on a couple of the cushions. I'm gonna show Vic where I wanna tie that in, and I'm excited because this is something that don't come from the factory that the customer is gonna see on our boat and not on the other ones. It's gonna help me sell this thing a little quicker.
So the Sea Hunt had the roll and tuck, the pleated material in it, which after a while gets water underneath it and tends to mildew. We wanted to clean it up and modernize it, so we used the plane and the diamond plate and the embroidery for that. We used the old cushion to draw our design on, and then of course we got to measure it and make sure it fits the board or the the place where it's going to go. One of the things we did different is on our backrest, they put staples around it and hide them. What we do is put a zipper on the bottom. This way there's no hide them, there's no staples in it. You can take it off, put it on, clean it, and wash it if you'd like. Here we use the finest thread because out here in the Florida sun, it'll just get eaten up. Then this thread will last a long, long time. I'm glad with the way the upholstery turned out. I think it helped sell the boat and brought it into this century.
All right, so we finally have the sea hunt all done. After Roberto fixed the side of the hull and made that new piece of top cap, and Mike got it all faired in, Jim with his little mistake with the paint job, it's gonna work out just fine, no issues. Vic wrapped it up with that two-tone upholstery. I think I'm gonna get this thing on a chopping block. It's gonna sell quick. It looks brand new, and someone's gonna save a lot of money, and hopefully I'm gonna make a couple bucks.
When we return, Brian sets out to have a custom engine bracket made for the 25-foot Hydra-Sports build. This segment brought to you by Armstrong, celebrating 25 years of creativity and innovation.
Do you have the Armstrong advantage? In its most basic form, an Armstrong outboard bracket improves the efficiency of your outboard motor. This equates to a faster time to plane and higher top speeds. The list of advantages continue with improved maneuverability, added space, and a quieter ride. Adding a swim platform, accompanied by an Armstrong boarding ladder, will certainly add to your day out on the water. Isn't it time for you to gain the Armstrong advantage?
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. With the 25-foot Hydra-Sports out of the fiberglass shop, it's time to measure the transom for a custom engine bracket.
All right, so we have Rick's 25-foot Hydra-Sport. It actually came with a bracket from the factory originally, but back then they had two-stroke motors. They didn't have the 4 strokes. You've got some things that you're gonna gain by going with a new style bracket. There are these built-in ladders on the side you see here, the size of the buoyancy chamber. We're going with a new 4-stroke on Rick's boat. It's a lot heavier than the old 2-stroke was. So this is something that's updating the boat, and the whole point of customizing and having a one-off boat made for yourself, you're gonna have things that no one else has.
Adding an engine bracket to a boat, whether repowering or not, adds flotation, top-end speed, fuel economy, cockpit space, and more. Built around lightweight 2-stroke power, most older hulls are not designed to accommodate the weight of modern 4-stroke engines. Bolted directly to the transom, a 4-stroke would substantially lower the waterline of an older model boat. However, an engine bracket adds positive flotation to the stern of the boat, in turn, offsetting the additional weight of newer 4-stroke power. This allows the user to gain all the advancements in technology of a 4-stroke engine without having to make the move to a newer boat. Even when sticking with the same power on an old boat or a brand new boat, engine brackets have been proven to reduce time to plane, raise top-end speed, and decrease fuel consumption. Engine brackets, often designed with built-in ladders, also provide excellent swimming and diving platforms, making it easy to get in and out of the water. Also, moving the engines off the transom onto the bracket opens up room inside of the boat, creating more cockpit space for anglers and passengers.
All right, so after discussing it with Rick, we've decided we're gonna go with the single 300 on the back of the 25 Hydra-Sport. I'm making the executive decision to put it into a 30-inch shaft. That way I can get the motor up a little higher, the power head will be away from the water. So we're gonna have the guys from Armstrong Nautical Products come over and give us a hand measuring up the transom, so we have the angle proper on the back of the boat. We can go over the color, we can go over the size, dimension of the platform on top, and we're gonna discuss a little bit about the ladder that comes out the side. They've got this new ladder that came out, and it really looks cool.
Before Armstrong can build a bracket, they need proper transom measurements. One of the most crucial is the transom angle. To begin, place the long side of a carpenter's square directly under the keel of the boat. When the short side comes in contact with the transom of the boat, take the measurement between the inside corner of the square and the boat transom. Every 1/4 inch is equal to 1 degree in transom angle. The distance is 4 1/4 inches, which equates to a 17-degree angle. The dead rise of the hull must be calculated. First, measure the distance from the bottom of the keel to the top of the transom. Then move 15 inches in either direction of the center line. These figures will be used to determine the dead rise of the bracket's flotation chamber. The width of the transom at the top and the bottom must be measured as well. The top is measured from end to end, just under the rub rail. The bottom is measured from end to end, from each bottom corner of the transom. These figures will help determine the width of the bracket's platform and flotation chamber. You'll also need to know all the basic details of the boat, such as make, model, and length, along with the details of the engine, such as manufacturer, horsepower, and shaft length. How the boat will be used is important too, as special items can be added, such as a built-in dive ladder. Once all measurements are submitted, the fabrication process can begin. When we come back, FS Boating editor Dave East heads out with Michael and Angelo Truglio to discuss the build of their custom Silver King flats boat. This segment brought to you by JL Audio. How we play.
50 years ago, Bennett Marine changed boating forever, inventing the trim tab, getting you on plane faster, improving fuel efficiency and performance, balancing loads. Today, more than 1 million systems later worldwide, boats all sizes. Bennett Innovation, durable and dependable trim tabs and hatch lifters. Your only source for both hydraulic and electric systems. Bennett Trim Tabs, superior by design, legendary service. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us during this one man's Dreamboat ride-along, where we feature boats and their owners whose dreams have already become reality. Join us as FS Boating editor Dave East heads out with Michael and Angelo Truglio to discuss the build of their Silver King, customized at Marine Customs Unlimited, designed around dreams of fishing the Florida backcountry.
So the boat is called a Silver Bullet after it was fabricated by Brian O'Donnell, but it was the Silver King.
Some people ask me, what kind of boat is that? I said, well, it's, you know, the original manufacturer was the Silver King, but we put it together with parts and we call it now the Silver Bullet, and that name came from a combination of things. I knew Brian had bullet boats at one time, and I like to drink beer, and I put it together, and you know where that Silver Bullet came from? It came from that can.
Living in South Florida in Homestead, me and my father, we used to like fishing the Florida Keys and Whitewater Bay and Flamingo outside Elliott Key. And we had the center councils, but we wanted a flats boat. So I found an article of a boat that was for the Florida Fish and Game Commission because it failed the gel coat inspection. So I was out for a low cost, and I went over to see the gentleman, and I picked it up.
It looked like a derelict boat in the back of that yard, and
yeah.
you know,
it looked like a mossy bass.
Yeah,
it was green with.
I mean, it just had weeds around it. You know,
there's no weeds around.
No,
the gel coat. It looked like an old bass back there in the yard. So I said, I'm going to fabricate this boat. Didn't have the money to actually fabricate the boat, and my father, he wanted a new boat. And so we joined together, decided, let's get that boat done. So one of my neighbors down the street introduced me to Brian. Me and my father said, yeah, let's do it.
And that's how it started.
Angelo, you know what? I spent a lot of time on the water and I meet a lot of people, and I had so much fun today. It's rare to find somebody that has that much fun with their boat, and I'm really glad to see that you got the boat you wanted and that you really enjoy it.
A lot went into thought, building it and taking care of it. And of course, you know, Brian did an excellent job, more than my expectations.
Well, you've had other boats before. Why'd you decide on this style of boat and this size boat?
Well, when I moved up to Brevard County is basically, you have the Indian River. It runs from the Mosquito Lagoon all the way down to Sebastian Inlet, and I sort of need for a flats boat because it's more of a shallow bay, right. It's a lagoon. It's really not even a river. And I said, Michael, you know, you know, I knew he had this boat. We talked about it earlier, where he got it and everything. And I said, let's put it together because that's the boat I need up here. But you know what? Brian is an expert at this business, and he's very good at designing and knowing what I needed. And I let him have free rein. I did. I told him that I wanted some power. And that's why I picked the Yamaha, because I wanted power, but I didn't want to weight. And at that time, the Yamaha was the lightest engine at the time for that power, and we decided on that, and he said, great. He gave me the Garmin with the GPS, perfect for this boat, for the size and capacity of the console. And then I said, I want that power pole. That power pole's a must for a guy like me in the Indian River over there, because the depth of the water is about 5 feet, you know, so you can run the place, just drop here, drop there, go here and there. So we did that. And as far as on a platform back there, on the push pole platform, he put that. That was his thought. I have to say, Brian said, you know, I'm a little older, you know, and he didn't want me falling off and suing him, I guess.
Right. Well, it's a very stable boat. All three of us had, you know, no problem walking around the boat, and it seemed easy to pull. It stayed right into the wind, so the design is good. I mean, today we got little snook and some little jacks, but what do you normally fish for up there?
Up there we go for the trout. Trout is our thing, and if we can get a snook, we're lucky.
Well, from what you started out with to what you have right now, I think y'all did a fine job. The boat's absolutely beautiful. It handles well. I don't know anything else that you could have added to it that would help it any better than what it is. Thank you so much for coming out. I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Like I said, bring it back to your editor-in-chief and tell them that we enjoyed your company today.
Thank you very much.
With an initial purchase cost of $5,000, after adding $35,000 of modifications at MCU, the cost of Truglio's Dreamboat comes to a total of $40,000. When we return, the crew at MCU adds a custom touch to the 25-foot Hydra-Sports Dreamboat build. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Yamaha's next generation V6 4-strokes are changing the game.
Mid-range power was awesome. Fuel, the burn, it's unbelievable.
Couldn't believe the speed and the fuel economy is pretty impressive.
I mean, I couldn't believe the power. It was like it was more like doing a quarter mile on a drag strip.
And them things are like, it's a whole nother game. So I made the switch.
Experience the difference for yourself during the Yamaha Discover V6 Offshore Demo Tour. See why we call it the game changer.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Putting the dream in Dreamboat, the fiberglass crew at MCU adds some custom touches to the 25-foot Hydra-Sports project.
All right, so I've got Roberto and the glass guys working on a 25 Hydra-Sport we're doing for Rick. The back hatch in the cockpit, it was a piece of plastic production garbage. We're ripping it out. We're making a fiberglass hatch on the flats table. It's almost done. We're opening it, we're enlarging it, we're making the area more accessible in the bilge and a more solid working platform, and it's gonna tie in with the rest of the hatches on the boat. This is something no one else has that has a 25 Vector Hydra-Sport. It's gonna be custom, unique, just to Rick's boat, and it's gonna make the boat more solid, more sound, and give him more workability and room to get down into his bilge and change his pumps and things. The speakers, we're recessing them into the sides of the gunnels of the boat, we're angling them and pointing them up towards the captain and the other people on the boat. People with $1 million 50-foot center console boats don't get this attention to detail. That's the cool thing about custom versus production.
Begin the process of adding custom speaker recesses. A speaker is laid in a pre-made mold, centered, and traced with a pencil. Also, the outside of the mold is traced with a compass, where it will be cut down in size. Then the outer and inside edge of the speaker mold are carefully cut along the guides with an electric saw. The speaker is then test fitted. Inside of the boat, the freshly cut speaker mold is centered in the area where it will be added permanently, and the outside edge is traced. The fiberglass is then carefully cut along the guide. Once finished, the speaker mold is test fitted inside of the hole. Then, as the mold is offset, an angle must be chosen. Angled correctly, the sound from the speakers will be directed towards the helm of the boat. Once chosen, it's marked with a pencil, and the mold is temporarily hot glued into place. For a permanent bond to the boat, the backside of the mold is fiberglass to the inside of the hull. Then a groove is cut out with a grinder around the outer edge of the mold. This groove allows the new speaker recess to be level with the surrounding area once fiberglass is added. A thick resin putty is spread into the groove, filling the gaps and prepping it for fiberglass. Then sections of glass are cut that match the width and depth of the groove and are laid inside. Once complete, this addition will add a truly custom look and feel to the boat.
All right, guys, so we're moving the 25 Hydra-Sport into the spray booth. Mike and Jim are a little bit behind on this thing because of the glass guys and the extra custom touches we've done to the boat. I also had a little issue with Rick being on a budget with this boat. We were only gonna spray the side of the hull, Now we've got to get into painting the whole entire bottom of the hull of the boat. It's going to add more work, more time, and we're already behind. We've had bad weather, we've had all kinds of issues, so we need to get the boat inside the bay and get it rolling.
Just got the 25 Hydra-Sport back from the fiberglass shop. They did a pretty good job. They got pretty close. I only had a little bit of body work to do. We got the body work done, got it in primer. We're getting ready for paint now. Prep work's probably the most important part, and that goes to the boat and with the gun. I mean, if you don't have everything set just right, like we had a problem with the sea hunt, you can go into major problems. I mean, Jim and Rob got it squared away, but it was still an issue that was at hand. When we're prepping the boat out, you got to have it wiped down really good. You got to have it tacked off. You got to make sure you're in a really clean environment. Any bit of dust, particles, anything like that can really mess up a paint job. Going through your gun, making sure that your gun is properly adjusted, doing test pattern sprays, making sure that you're not throwing too much paint or not enough paint on. It's very critical steps. Same with the mixing of the paint. You have to have it mixed to a certain percentage or it just won't flash, or it'll flash off too much. There's a lot into it. It's not just as simple easy as it looks on TV. Brian's got us really crunched down on this, trying to get this boat out on deadline. So I went ahead and brought Jim in. We went ahead and shot the top side. He basically just took one angle, I took the other, and we went around in circles till we met up to where we finished off at. It's really critical to make sure you're getting every angle, making sure that you have a good state of mind of where you're at, because you are spraying pretty much the whole topside at one time. You could really kill a paint job. You turn around and lay into the side of the boat. Well, we finished the top side. We got the hull prepped, sanded, got it wiped down, tacked off. We're ready to go. I gave Jim the gravity feed because I don't need him working with the damn pressure pot no more. But anyhow, when you're running two guys like that, especially on a hull, you got to kind of stay uniform to where you're at. This boat in particular was all one solid color. So having two people on the hull, one on the bottom, one on the top, it made the job go by faster and more efficiently. We got done with the boat, and I was happy with the way the boat came out. There was very minimal work here or there, little touch-ups, but all in all, the paint job came out pretty good. Jim did pretty good. He's had a lot of experience, but he hasn't been in the field in a while. So, it took a little bit on that first shoot, but I think he's dialing in and he's getting it down pretty good.
Next time on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, we meet up with the experts at Armstrong Nautical Products to build a custom engine bracket for the 25-foot Hydra-Sports. Dave East meets up with Dan McCarthy to discuss the build of his custom flat skiff. And Mike in the paint shop works to make an aging bass boat shine once again. Each month, turn to Florida Sportsman for the best in boating and fishing coverage.